If you are in a constant state of pressure and being oppressed to the point where you are just on autopilot, you just waking up every day doing what you should do. If most of your life is based on shoulds, I should be doing this. I should. In your purpose check, that lets you know that you got off somewhere. You got off in a lane that you didn't have no business going in. To my purpose driven professionals who also tend to be high achievers, you are driven by purpose. You want to do things that make sense. You don't want to waste your time nor anybody else's. You want to make sure that you lead with intent, with impact, and that you put those gifts and talents to use. But somewhere along the way, purpose turned into pressure. So now all you feel is anxiety, confusion, and you might be a little bit ticked off. If that's you, let me walk you through this a little bit in terms of what we can do about it and how we can make your life better. Welcome back to the Upwardly Paved Path, where I teach ambitious professionals how to rise, lead, and thrive without burning themselves out in the process. My name is Davina Ware, and I am your leadership and talent strategist. And today, I'm going to be your personal coach to help you figure out what to do when you were so excited about finally tapping into why you were put here on this earth, and now maybe it's turned into a nightmare. Let's first talk about the shift. When you are on purpose, when you finally say yes to yourself, it feels amazing. It energizes you. It's one of those things where you almost never get tired when you are working in your purpose. It gives you, it's like being the Energizer Bunny, right? No matter how tired you are, no matter how the world is crashing around you, when you are on purpose, it keeps you going where everything else just starts to matter less. All of the difficult things start to matter less. However, when you are a high achiever, purpose will naturally morph into pressure. And yes, a lot of it comes from your own hands. Why? Because you start measuring your whole sense of worth by your outputs and what you produce. You start regularly pushing through exhaustion because you don't want to disappoint anyone. You start saying yes to almost everything because you got a goal and a vision, and you feel like more yeses is going to get you there quicker. But that's not the case. Your purpose turns into pressure because your why becomes a weight, and that is out of order. When your purpose starts to suffocate you, the cost is very expensive to your mental health and to your future. What brought you joy is now bringing you resentment. You start performing instead of living, being a human doing instead of a human being. Then you start to slowly silence your needs because you are chasing after the thing. And after a while, your body, your nervous system is going to overtake you and you become disconnected from yourself. And doing that over a prolonged period of time, you also start to lose trust and confidence within yourself, which is obviously going to obliterate your purpose. This becomes a breeding ground for burnout for high achievers. It's not about working more and overworking, because when you do that, you start over identifying with your outcomes to the point where you forget who you are outside of your work. So let's do a purpose check. If you are really on purpose, then it's peaceful. That's not to say that you won't have challenges. That's part of the game. The obstacles on your purpose path are always going to propel you forward. They will make you stronger. They will make you better. They will make you heal faster. And it will get to the point where you start to jump over leaps and bounds, challenges and things that maybe tied you down or took you a long time to get over, or maybe that thing that lit your fuse really quickly. When you're in purpose, all of that stuff is, you just bypass it. You become such a stronger, more skilled, more agile version of yourself that these little things become something that you mentor and that you coach people through. So if you are in a constant state of pressure and being oppressed to the point where you are just on autopilot, you just waking up every day doing what you should do. If most of your life is based on shoulds, I should be doing this. I should. In your purpose check, that lets you know that you got off somewhere. You got off in a lane that you didn't have no business going in. Now what? The first thing you have to do is to reclaim your peace. You cannot be actively pursuing purpose where there is no peace. So bring it back to the basics, reel it back in. One of the best things that you could do for yourself is to pull all the way back, just like you're pulling back a slingshot, in order to propel yourself to go forward. So pulling yourself back is getting back to who are you? What are the things that light you up? What are the things that make you unique? What are the things that make you smile when nothing externally will do that for you? Get clear on what that is. The great thing about being on this path that is sometimes rocky is that you expand from the inside out. So maybe you had two things that made you excited to get out of bed, but when you go through times of trial and confusion and struggle, now you have five. So you've got more capacity for joy. You've got more capacity to support people. You've got more capacity for bliss. So get back to who you are, what your values are, and then what brings you joy. The next thing is you probably got some more data, information on what works and what doesn't. But you've got to redefine success for yourself. And you've heard me say this in a couple other videos, only because it is so very important. It's really easy for us to get on autopilot and just start doing things mindlessly. And when that happens, we never get any rewards. And your body comes with, and your nervous system comes with a natural reward system. So if you are doing purposeful things, it's a constant feeding of your soul, constantly. It becomes a cycle, and that creates your world. So when I'm talking about your world that may seem to be melting, well, those times when things are on fire, they happen less and less because you've redefined success and it's starting to create the world around you because it's coming from the inside out. Then the last thing is you have got to release the weight. You have got to give yourself some grace. Grace is one of my personal values because I give people grace. We live in a fallen world. Everybody out here is trying to figure it out. No matter what social media is telling you, we're all trying to figure it out. So you've got to learn to give grace, but it starts with giving yourself grace first. 9 times out of 10, releasing the weight is going to come with changing your self-talk of I'm not where I want to be, or man, why can't I? Why? When you release the weight of holding yourself hostage to not make any mistakes, it's like jumping into a pool. There's this rush of endorphins. You get this coolness, but then there's excitement that happens after it. I mean, like, unless your hair is like this, and then I would be concerned for other reasons. But you got to release the weight, release yourself, release the things that you are saying to yourself. That creates a highway of clarity to get back to purpose and peace. So if this is you and your purpose is now starting to feel like a pressure cooker, let me just remind you that high achievers, we have our hands in a lot of pots, we do a lot of things. And at some point, you have got to trust that your passion and your good work ethic that you have put forward is going to yield you some results without you having to force everything. Okay, that's all I got for you today. If you are someone where your purpose has now turned into pressure, drop it in the comments and then let me know what thing you're going to do to start choosing peace. If this video spoke to you, make sure you hit that like button, subscribe to my channel, and share this with an ambitious woman who should be reminded that her purpose should free her and not fry her. All right, thanks for staying with me, and I'll catch y'all in the next video.